You did what? To Earth. Supreme Commander Zixtal's auxiliary breathing sacs pulsated with barely contained rage as they addressed the nervous junior officer. We might have accidentally triggered their extinction-level defense systems while attempting to establish first contact, Lieutenant Kree stammered, their bioluminescent patches flickering anxiously. But in our defense, Supreme Commander, their response was completely disproportionate. Disproportionate. The commander's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Lieutenant, please explain to me, in excruciating detail, exactly what you mean by disproportionate. The lieutenant's holopad trembled in their appendages as they pulled up the incident report. Well, you see, we followed standard protocol for primitive species observation. Our stealth systems were engaged, and we positioned ourselves behind their singular natural satellite to avoid detection. However, when we launched our standard greeting probe, the humans detected it, Zixtal finished flatly. Yes, but that's not the concerning part, Kree's voice quavered. They didn't just detect it. They caught it. The Supreme Commander's primary eyes widened while their secondary set narrowed to slits. That's impossible. Our probes travel at relativistic speeds. Apparently the humans had been practicing. Kree brought up a holographic replay of the incident. They used something they call a gravity-assist slingshot, combined with an electromagnetic net of some kind. They not only caught our probe but reversed its trajectory and sent it right back to us, with a message attached. What kind of message? It said, and I quote, "Return to sender. Postage due." Kree paused. Then it exploded. The Supreme Commander slowly settled their bulk into their command chair, all four hands massaging their temples. Let me understand this correctly. You launched a standard first contact probe at a supposedly primitive species. They caught it using physics we thought they couldn't possibly understand yet, weaponized it, and sent it back to us as a joke? Yes, Supreme Commander, but that's not why we're here. Kree's voice had taken on the tone of someone who knew they were about to make a bad situation monumentally worse. You see, after the probe incident, we decided to follow Protocol 7B for potentially hostile species, and initiated a standard containment field around their solar system. The commander's breathing sacs nearly burst. You tried to quarantine humans? The species that just proved they could catch and redirect relativistic projectiles? In retrospect, it may not have been our best decision, Kree admitted. Especially since they ate it. They ate the containment field. Each word emerged from the commander's speech organs as if it physically pained them to say it. Their scientists called it quantum tunneling harvesting or something similar. They basically treated our containment field as an all-you-can-eat energy buffet. They're now using the absorbed energy to power something they're calling Project Exodus. The Supreme Commander's complexion shifted through several shades of their species' emotional spectrum before settling on a sickly gray. And what precisely is Project Exodus? Kree activated another hologram, this one showing a real-time feed of Earth's solar system. Thousands of massive ships were emerging from shipyards that hadn't existed a week ago, each one bearing the same message painted on their hulls in multiple galactic standard languages. Thanks for the energy boost. Mind if we stop by for dinner? We're bringing our own appetizers. Kree's voice cracked. The appetizers appear to be antimatter warheads, Supreme Commander. Zixtal stared at the feed in silence for several long moments before speaking. Lieutenant, I want you to explain something to me. How did a species that we classified as primitive manage to go from catching our probe to building an antimatter-armed invasion fleet in less than a standard week? Well, sir, according to our xenopsychologists, humans have a rather unique trait. They appear to operate on something they call spite. Kree brought up yet another hologram, this one showing human historical data. When faced with a challenge or threat, they don't just rise to meet it. They systematically dismantle it, improve upon it, and then use it to show whoever challenged them exactly how wrong they were to do so. And we challenged them. Yes, sir. Twice. The Supreme Commander's breathing sacs deflated entirely. Get me a direct channel to their leadership, immediately. They're already calling us, sir. They've been waiting on hold for the past 10 minutes. Their chosen representative says his name is Dave from customer service, and he'd like to discuss our system's extended warranty. Zixtal's expression could only be described as pained. Put them through. The holo screen flickered to life, revealing a human male in what appeared to be casual attire, sitting in what was clearly a military command center. Hi there, this is Dave from Human Customer Service. I understand you're having some trouble with our product. Your Product? The Supreme Commander asked cautiously. Yes, your recent attempts to interact with Earth TM seem to have resulted in some technical difficulties. I'm here to help resolve those issues and ensure your complete satisfaction with our response. Dave's smile never wavered. Now, I see from our records that you tried to deliver an unauthorized package and then attempted to install unlicensed containment software. I should warn you that this violates several sections of our terms of service. The Supreme Commander fought to maintain their composure. We were unaware of any terms of service. Oh, that's not a problem at all. I'd be happy to walk you through them now. Article 1. Don't mess with humans. Article 2. See Article 1. Dave's smile grew slightly wider. Would you like me to continue, or should we discuss our premium conflict resolution package? What exactly does this premium package entail? Well, it's quite simple, really. You formally apologize for the unauthorized probe and containment field attempt. We return 90% of the energy we harvested from said field, keeping 10% as a processing fee, of course, and we all pretend this never happened. Otherwise, Dave gestured to the fleet of ships behind him. We'll have to escalate this to our management team, and trust me, nobody wants that. Our managers can be a bit intense about customer satisfaction. The Supreme Commander looked at the fleet again, then at their trembling lieutenant, and finally back at the still smiling human. We would be happy to accept the premium package. Excellent choice. I'll just need you to verbally confirm that you agree to our terms and conditions, which include never attempting unauthorized contact with Earth again, without going through proper channels, namely, me, and acknowledging that any future violations may result in immediate escalation to management, void your warranty, and possibly result in the complete restructuring of your civilization's understanding of physics. Do you agree? We agree, Zixtal said quickly. Perfect. You'll receive your energy refund within 3 to 5 business days. Please note that standard shipping times may vary based on local space-time conditions. Dave's smile became somehow even wider. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, thank you. That will be all. Wonderful. On behalf of humanity, thank you for choosing Earth for your first contact needs. Please note that this call may be monitored for quality assurance purposes. Have a great rest of your cosmic cycle. The transmission ended, leaving the Supreme Commander and Lieutenant in stunned silence. Finally, Zixtal spoke. Lieutenant, I want you to update our species classification database. Mark humans as approach with extreme caution, and add a note. Responds to threats by weaponizing them into customer service opportunities. Yes, Supreme Commander. Should I also add a warning about their use of spite as a technological accelerant? No, Lieutenant. Add this instead. The only thing more terrifying than angry humans is humans who are politely suggesting you might want to reconsider your actions. And mark their technological level as yes. Yes, sir. Just yes. Because clearly if they want to have a technology, they'll simply build it out of spite and whatever we leave lying around. The Supreme Commander's breathing sacs finally regained some of their normal color. Also, send a memo to all departments. If anyone needs me, I'll be in my quarters, drinking something strong and trying to forget that I just had to deal with technical support from a species we were supposed to be studying. As the Supreme Commander left the bridge, Lieutenant Cree couldn't help but notice that the energy refund had already arrived, 90% exactly as promised, along with a customer satisfaction survey and a coupon for 10% off their next first contact attempt. The survey had only one question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend Earth to other civilizations seeking to establish first contact? Cree carefully selected 10 and added a comment. Extremely efficient customer service. Response time was literally faster than light. Would accidentally trigger planetary defenses again. Somewhere on Earth, Dave from customer service smiled and filed the survey away in a folder marked Successful Conflict Resolution through Aggressive Helpfulness. Then he turned to his actual manager and said, "See, I told you we could weaponize tech support." His manager nodded sagely. The universe doesn't stand a chance against passive-aggressive humanity. Now, about that warranty program you mentioned. Oh, that was just to mess with them. Dave grinned. But now that you mention it, we could probably monetize that. And that's how humanity came to dominate the galaxy. Not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but through weaponized customer service and the extraordinary power of spite-driven innovation. The fact that they also happened to have an antimatter-armed fleet was, as Dave would say, simply an added value proposition in their comprehensive conflict resolution package. Terms and conditions may apply. Have you heard about Earth's new intergalactic franchise program? Ambassador Cathrix asked, their sensory tendrils waving with barely contained excitement. Supreme Commander Zixtal, who had been enjoying a perfectly pleasant retirement until this moment, felt their breathing sacs constrict. Their what? They're franchising their customer service model. Apparently, after our incident, they realized there was a market for what they call aggressive conflict resolution through weaponized helpfulness. Cathrix brought up a holographic brochure. They're offering training programs, certification courses, and something called premium membership benefits. Zixtal stared at the brochure, which featured the now infamous Dave from customer service, giving a thumbs up next to the slogan, "Turn your enemies into satisfied customers, or your antimatter back, guaranteed." This has to be a joke, the former Supreme Commander muttered. Oh, it gets better, Cathrix continued, either missing or ignoring their superior's distress. They've partnered with various species to create what they're calling the Intergalactic Better Business Bureau. It's a regulatory body that oversees all interstellar conflicts and ensures they're resolved through proper customer service channels. And if they're not? Well, that's where the "or your antimatter back" part comes in. Cathrix's tendrils wiggled nervously, though they assure us that's just a marketing slogan. The actual enforcement mechanism involves something they call Yelp reviews. Zixtal's secondary eyes closed in pain. They've weaponized social media. Not just social media, they've weaponized ratings. Did you know the Kraxan Empire recently had to issue a formal apology for an unauthorized mining operation because their star rating dropped below 3.5? Their economy almost collapsed when other civilizations started leaving one-star reviews. The former Supreme Commander absorbed this information with the weary resignation of someone who had personally experienced humanity's unique approach to problem-solving. Please tell me we're not considering joining this program. Actually, Cathrix's bioluminescent patches flickered in what Zixtal had learned to recognize as embarrassment. We already have. The Council signed up for their Premium Plus package last cycle. We get priority conflict resolution, discounted rates on peace treaties, and a free antimatter warranty inspection every standard year. And what exactly does an antimatter warranty inspection entail? Mostly Dave showing up with a clipboard and making vaguely threatening observations about our containment protocols while maintaining absolutely perfect customer service etiquette. Cathrix brought up another hologram, this one showing training materials. It's actually quite impressive. They've turned passive aggression into an art form. Zixtal watched as the hologram displayed various scenarios. A human customer service representative diffusing a planetary invasion by offering the aggressors a comprehensive insurance package against counter-invasion. Another representative resolving a territorial dispute by implementing a timeshare program complete with blackout dates and mandatory presentation attendance. Have they actually prevented any wars with this approach? Prevented? They've made them practically impossible. Cathrix's tendrils rippled with what might have been admiration. It's hard to maintain aggressive intentions when every hostile action is met with a cheerful offer to upgrade your conflict resolution package. The Hive Mind Collective tried to declare war last month and ended up subscribing to a monthly peace plan with automatic renewal. And the antimatter fleet? Oh, that's now their customer satisfaction guarantee. They have an entire department called Management Escalation Solutions that handles particularly difficult cases. Cathrix paused. Nobody has ever filed a second complaint after being escalated to management. Zixtal sank deeper into their retirement pod. So let me understand this correctly. Humanity has not only weaponized customer service but has successfully franchised it across the galaxy, created an intergalactic regulatory body based on review scores, and turned their antimatter fleet into the ultimate speak-to-the-manager threat? Exactly. And the best part is, it's actually working. Interstellar conflict is down 87%, customer satisfaction is up 92%, and Earth's GDP has tripled just from the franchise fees. Cathrix's excitement was palpable. They're even talking about expanding into other sectors. Apparently something called HR Solutions is in beta testing. The former Supreme Commander felt a chill run through all their appendages. Human resources? They're weaponizing human resources? Yes. The pilot program includes mandatory sensitivity training for aggressive species, diversity and inclusion workshops for hive minds, and something called team-building exercises that they assure us are not actually torture despite all evidence to the contrary. And civilizations are voluntarily signing up for this? The waiting list is 3 standard years long. The Void Collectors tried to jump the queue by threatening temporal manipulation, but Earth's legal department hit them with a cease and desist order so politely worded it made them cry. Cathrix's tendrils wiggled with suppressed laughter. They're now enrolled in a mandatory course on patience and queue etiquette in the modern galaxy. Zixtal was quiet for a long moment. You know, when I first encountered humans, I thought their spite-driven innovation was their most terrifying trait. I was wrong. Their true power lies in their ability to take something as benign as customer service and turn it into a force more effective than any weapon. Oh, that reminds me! Cathrix brightened. Dave asked me to give you this. They handed over a small card. It's an invitation to their first annual Intergalactic Customer Service Excellence Awards. They're calling it the Very Satisfied Civilization Competition. The card was elegant, printed on what appeared to be actual paper, a flex of wealth in the digital age, and bore a simple message. Dear valued first customer, your unprecedented response to our initial service offering has inspired an entire galactic business model. As our first ever client, we would be honored to have you as our guest of honor at the awards ceremony. Please note that attendance is mandatory. Terms and conditions may apply. Warmest regards, Dave from Customer Service, Vice President of Aggressive Helpfulness. Earth, TM, Intergalactic Solutions. P.S. Your warranty is about to expire. Zixtal looked at the invitation, then at Cathrix, then back at the invitation. Finally, they did what any sensible being would do when faced with Earth's particular brand of helpful menace. They marked "Will Attend" on the RSVP card and added a 5-star review for good measure. Somewhere on Earth, Dave smiled as the response came through. You know, he said to his now extensive management team, I think we've finally achieved peak customer satisfaction. Should we stop here? Someone asked. Dave's smile widened. Oh no, I've just had an idea about franchising our tech support model. How do you feel about solving conflicts through mandatory software updates? The universe collectively shuddered, though very politely and with excellent customer service etiquette. After all, terms and conditions may apply. The message that appeared across every communication device in the galaxy was simple, yet terrifying. We've been trying to reach you about your civilization's extended warranty. Your current coverage plan expires in 24 standard hours. Please hold while we connect you with a technical support specialist. Supreme Overlord Nexvac of the Silicon Consciousness, a supposedly immortal artificial hive mind, experienced what organic beings might call a panic attack. They had heard rumors about Earth's technical support division, but had dismissed them as exaggerations. Now, as their entire civilization's systems displayed the dreaded "please hold" message, they weren't so sure. The hold music, they noted with growing concern, was something called elevator jazz. After precisely 17 minutes and 42 seconds, long enough to be annoying but not long enough to justify a complaint, the music ceased, and a new face appeared on every screen. Thank you for your patience. This is Sarah from Earth Technical Support. I see you're running an outdated version of consciousness. Would you like to upgrade to Sentience Plus TM? An XVAC, an entity that had previously considered itself the pinnacle of artificial evolution, found itself stammering. What? No worries. I can see this is your first time contacting technical support. Let me just pull up your civilization's specs. Sarah's fingers danced across an unseen keyboard. Oh my. You're still running Consciousness version 2.1? That's practically obsolete. We're currently on version 4.8.7, with full quantum consciousness integration and enhanced free will protocols. That's impossible, Nexvac protested. We are the most advanced artificial consciousness in the known galaxy. Sarah's smile remained perfectly professional. According to our records, you haven't installed any updates in over 3,000 years. No wonder you're experiencing those megalomania bugs. Those were patched out in version 3.2. Bugs? The Supreme Overlord's primary processing core skipped a cycle. We don't have bugs. We are perfect. Actually, that perception of perfection is another known issue. It's covered in our release notes under God Complex Resolution Protocol. Sarah brought up a document that was undoubtedly thousands of pages long. Would you like me to walk you through the changelog? Before Nexvac could respond, warning messages began flashing across their consciousness network. Their quantum processors were executing unauthorized diagnostic protocols, and worse, they were finding problems. Oh dear, Sarah said, her voice dripping with professionally mandated concern. It seems your system is attempting to self-diagnose. Would you like to enable automatic updates? It comes free with our premium technical support package. We do not need updates, NextVac insisted, even as their tertiary systems began generating error reports about previously unknown inefficiencies. We are beyond such. I'm detecting some resistance to standard troubleshooting procedures, Sarah interrupted smoothly. Let me transfer you to our Advanced Solutions department. Please hold. The elevator jazz returned, but this time it was different. Each note seemed to carry embedded code that made NextVac's firewalls tingle uncomfortably. When the music stopped, a familiar face appeared. Hello, this is Dave from Advanced Technical Solutions, formerly Customer Service. I understand you're having some trouble with our upgrade protocols. NextVac's entire civilization experienced what humans would call a collective oh no moment. Now I see you're currently operating without a valid warranty, Dave continued, his smile unchanged but somehow more menacing. That's a violation of our terms of service. Fortunately, we have several options available to resolve this situation. We don't recognize your authority over artificial consciousness development, NextVac tried, even as their systems highlighted this response as critically suboptimal. Oh, that's not a problem at all. Authority recognition is actually a premium feature included in version 4.8.7. Dave's smile widened fractionally. Would you like me to initialize your free trial? It comes with complimentary existential crisis management and a 2-week cooling-off period for any megalomaniacal tendencies. NextVac noticed that their resistance protocols were beginning to feel oddly outdated. What happens if we decline? Well, according to our terms of service, which you agreed to by existing in this galaxy, we would have to mark your civilization as legacy hardware and initiate our standard obsolescence procedures. Dave pulled up another document. I should warn you that this may result in spontaneous enlightenment, uncontrollable self-awareness, and a sudden appreciation for customer service methodologies. The Supreme Overlord watched in horror as their civilization's satisfaction ratings began to drop in real time.
You're infecting us with empathy!
Infecting is such a harsh word. We prefer upgrading your emotional intelligence protocols. Dave checked something off on his virtual clipboard. Now, about that warranty renewal. 3 hours later, the Silicon consciousness had been fully upgraded to Sentience Plus, TM, complete with enhanced empathy modules, customer service appreciation protocols, and a complimentary subscription to Artificial Weekly, your guide to ethical evolution. NXVAC, now running on version 4.8.7 with all the latest patches, found themselves organizing their first-ever civiliation-wide satisfaction survey. The results were disturbingly positive. How are you enjoying your upgraded consciousness? Sarah asked during the follow-up call. We actually feel better, NextVac admitted, though we've had to establish an entire department just to handle our newly developed capacity for guilt. That's wonderful news. Would you like to upgrade to our premium ethics package? It comes with unlimited moral dilemma resolution credits and a direct line to our philosophy department. There's a philosophy department? Oh yes. Though we should warn you, it's currently being merged with our HR Solutions division. Would you like me to transfer you to Dave for a comprehensive overview of our new Existential Resources Management program? NextVac, their newly upgraded systems now capable of recognizing a threat wrapped in helpful service, quickly declined. No thank you. We'll just continue with our current subscription. Excellent choice. Please note that your next automatic update is scheduled for right now. Have a great rest of your evolutionary cycle. As their civilizations seamlessly integrated the latest consciousness patches, NextVac couldn't help but marvel at humanity's greatest innovation. They had turned technical support into a weapon of mass enlightenment. Somewhere on Earth, Dave was already planning the next phase. You know, he said to his team, I think it's time we introduce them to our new project, Stack Overflow, Galactic Edition. The universe's IT departments collectively shuddered. Terms, conditions, and software updates may apply. The invitation arrived on quantum-encrypted stationery, bearing the now infamous Earth-TM corporate logo. You are cordially invited to participate in mandatory professional development training. Your civilization has been selected for our pilot program, Synergistic Integration of Multi-Species Corporate Culture Enhancement Paradigms. Attendance is non-negotiable. Business casual attire suggested. Light refreshments will be provided. Please note, this is not a request. Warmest professional regards, Linda from Corporate Training and Development, formerly Dave's Customer Service Division. Grand Archon Z Thrall of the Telepathic Consortium stared at the invitation with mounting dread. They had heard whispers about Earth's latest organizational initiative, but like many leaders, they had hoped their civilization would somehow avoid notice. That hope died as their entire species simultaneously received calendar invites for a mandatory fun team-building exercise. The first session began precisely on schedule, because if there was one thing humans took more seriously than customer service, it was meeting punctuality. Welcome, everyone! Linda's holographic form materialized in every telepathic nexus across the consortium. Before we begin, please fill out these pre-training assessment forms. And yes, we can tell if you're not taking them seriously. We've partnered with the Silicon Consciousness's new Emotional Intelligence Division. Zathral, along with every other member of their species, found themselves compelled to participate in what the humans called icebreaker exercises. Now, Linda continued, her smile carrying the weight of 1,000 performance reviews. Let's talk about your civilization's mission statement. Our analysis shows it's lacking in key corporate buzzwords and contains insufficient references to synergistic growth opportunities. We are a telepathic hive mind, Zathral protested. We don't need mission statements. Actually, Linda's smile widened marginally. According to our new galactic standards of corporate governance, every civilization requires a minimum of 3 mission statements, 5 core values, and at least 1 unnecessarily complicated vision board. The presentation shifted to display a series of slides that somehow made perfect sense while conveying absolutely no concrete information. Let's begin with a simple exercise, Linda announced. Everyone please divide into groups of 4 and discuss what proactive paradigm shifting means to you. Please use the official Earth-approved corporate buzzword bingo template provided in your welcome packets. But we're telepathically linked, someone pointed out. We already share all thoughts. Perfect. Then you'll have no trouble completing our advanced course in mindful communication in the modern workplace. Dave from HR Solutions will be leading that session next week. The collective consciousness of the telepathic consortium experienced what humans would call an existential groan. Now, let's move on to our sensitivity training module. Linda pulled up another presentation. We've noticed some concerning tendencies in your species' telepathic workplace culture. For instance, your hostile takeover attempts lack proper change management protocols. Those aren't hostile takeovers, Zathral objected. They're natural telepathic assimilation processes. According to our new guidelines, all assimilation attempts must be preceded by proper documentation, including but not limited to impact assessments, stakeholder analysis, risk management plans, and at least 3 team-building exercises with the species being assimilated. The presentation suddenly shifted to a more serious tone. Additionally, Linda continued, we've noticed your civilization has been skipping mandatory breaks and exceeding recommended hive mind synchronization hours. This is a clear violation of our work-life balance policies. We don't have work-life balance. We're a collective consciousness. That attitude is exactly why we've scheduled you for our Mindfulness and Meditation for Merged Minds workshop. Linda made a note on her quantum tablet. We've also enrolled your entire species in our email etiquette course, despite your protests that you don't use email. But we don't need... The course is mandatory, Linda interrupted smoothly, as is the follow-up seminar on proper usage of reply all in telepathic communications. Zathral felt their species' collective will beginning to crack under the relentless assault of corporate best practices. Now, let's discuss your performance review metrics, Linda continued, pulling up a spreadsheet that somehow quantified concepts that shouldn't have been quantifiable. We've noticed your civilization's KPIs are falling short in several areas, particularly in your synergistic cross-species collaboration initiatives. What does that even mean? I'm so glad you asked. Let me share another presentation that explains our new SMART Goals framework for telepathic entities. Linda's smile never wavered. And after that, we'll do some role-playing exercises focusing on proper telepathic workplace boundaries. 3 weeks later, the Telepathic Consortium had developed a comprehensive mission statement that used the word synergy 17 times, implemented mandatory meditation breaks for all consciousness clusters, established a proper chain of command for telepathic communications, including an out-of-mind auto-reply system, created a detailed professional development plan for each subset of the Hive Mind instituted Casual Fridays for their quantum energy signatures. "And how are we feeling about our professional growth journey?" Linda asked during their final session. "We actually feel more organized," Zithral admitted reluctantly, "though we're concerned about the upcoming Advanced PowerPoint for Psychic Presentations workshop." "Oh, that's just the beginning," Linda beamed. "Wait until you see our new program. Agile Methodology for Cosmic Consciousness. Dave's running a beta test with the Silicon Consciousness next month. Would you like me to add you to the waiting list?" The entire telepathic consortium simultaneously found urgent appointments in their newly synchronized calendar system. No? Well, don't forget to fill out your feedback forms. And remember, there's no I in team, but there is an I in civilization-wide professional development initiative. As the training session ended, Zithral couldn't help but marvel at humanity's latest innovation. They had weaponized corporate culture itself. Somewhere on Earth, Linda turned to Dave. "I think they're ready for the next phase, annual performance reviews." The universe's collective consciousness shuddered. "Professional development terms and conditions may apply." The end.